The Bitcoin price is currently getting a bounce and we're holding above a very key level. Now, this Bitcoin bounce has occurred exactly from the long setup that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, where for weeks now we've been looking for a breakdown from this falling wedge only to get a fake out and then a move back up into the wedge. And the question is, are we going to break out or just continue trading this pattern? We're going to be looking at the probabilities and how I plan to trade this, so make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications because we are bringing you the juiciest and the most timely Bitcoin updates here on YouTube. Shout out to everybody in the Casper Crew who took the juicy long from the bottom and who took the juicy long from the retest, because both of these trades were given in advance. But the question right now is, are we going to actually reject or are we going to break out of this wedge? What is very nice about this move is that locally we have actually formed some bullish market structure. And for the past few weeks, we've been watching this falling wedge saying there's a very high probability that when the federal funds rate comes out, we're going to get a fake out to the downside. Everyone's going to think we're losing the wedge, and then we're going to get a move back up inside. And we were looking for some very specific confirmations to basically get us into this long trade. And if you've watched my previous videos, you know that we were looking for the very bullish Sam Bankman-Fried man breast pattern. That's right, the bullish Sam Bankman-Fried man boob pattern. This is basically a market cipher pattern where as the price is getting lower into a key level of support, our oscillator market cipher B is actually getting higher with the momentum waves as well as the money flow. This is a very, very bullish pattern. Notice the striking resemblance between market cipher B and Sam Bankman-Fried. So because we've gotten such a bullish move from the exact level we were looking for, and because we've locally changed market structure, now we have the environment from which we can look for our next major trade setup. So here is exactly what I am looking for as we move into the new week. By the way, guys, if you want to join the Casper Crew, where we do multiple live streams a week looking for those trade setups, we give our setups, our levels in advance, a great community for learning. You can go to jasoncaspertrading.com. Go ahead and click the link to join the VIP Discord. If you want to learn how to trade this way, make sure to take advantage of the 25% discount on both of these trading courses. These are changing the way thousands of people approach the markets. And of course, if you want to take advantage of the crazy volatility of these markets, longing and shorting, I highly recommend my favorite exchange, MEXC. If you use the link in the description and the pinned comment, not only do you get 0% limit order fees and 33% off market order fees up to a $9,000 deposit bonus, a great deal, only if you know how to trade. If you don't know how to trade, well, it's a horrible deal because you'll lose everything you have in your life, will fall apart. Market structure is king, and there's two things we need to keep in mind. Number one, on the higher term timeframes, we are in a downtrend. We have our high, our low, our lower high, our lower low, our lower high, our lower low, and currently we're still making a lower high. So this is a downtrend, which means the higher term timeframes are still bearish. However, when we take a look at these lower timeframes, we're seeing an uptrend begin to form where we've made our low, our lower high, our lower low, and now we've made our first higher high on the lower term timeframes. What this means is that potentially we can be looking for a juicy long trade setup and a potential inverted head and shoulders pattern to form, where basically we have our left shoulder, our head, and then our right shoulder, and we can actually look to long a higher low for a potential breakout of this wedge pattern coming all the way up to around that $30,000 level. So here's what we need to do. We first of all need to go ahead and pull our Fibonacci retracement tool from the low to the high and ask ourselves, where exactly is the retracement likely to come to? Well, we can see that the area between the 618 and the 786 is basically coming down right between $25.5 thousand and I would say right around $25,000. So we can go ahead and draw a box right around here and say, if this local uptrend is going to continue, this box is the area where we are going to be looking, and the target of this potential trade is going to be right around the $29,000 level, where we have the high of our local range as well as the Fibonacci golden pocket from the top to the bottom. And this, of course, is a very key area of resistance where we could look for a macro lower high to be put in and then continue this macro downtrend. So this right now is my next long trade plan for Bitcoin. So once again, how are we going to know whether or not this is going to be a good long to take? Well, we need to come down to the lower time frames, like the 24-minute and below. And as the price comes down to our green box, once again, we want to take a look for our good friend SBF, right? He's always going to tell us which way the markets are going to go. Okay, when we come down to that level, we want to see, as the price is getting lower, getting everybody super dang bearish into our box, basically refilling all these single prints that we have along the way up. We want to see market cipher B starting to print the Sam Bankman-Fried man-boob pattern, where the momentum is getting higher, the money flow is getting higher as the price is getting lower. This is very, very similar to what happened when we came down to our previous bottom. Notice something. When we came down to the level that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, we were looking for divergences on all these time frames. This is exactly what we got. We came down to that level. When we look at the 24-minute time frame, as the price came down to make that final low, the 24-minute time frame making a higher low, showing us that we were going to get a significant bounce from that level. So now when we're looking for the macro retest, probably going to happen next week, this is definitely the zone, 25K to 25.5K. If we don't see SBF at this place, right, then there's a good chance that the price is actually going to come and make a lower low, basically stopping everybody out who is long from this entire time. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, it means we don't take the long trade, but second of all, it means we wait for the next major zone of support. Now, remember, for the past few weeks, we've been looking for a fake out of this wedge pattern. Is this a fake out? Maybe, but we could also kind of take this trend line right here and adjust it a little bit and say, no, we're still actually trading within a falling wedge pattern. The fake out has not happened yet. And if that is the case, then we need to be aware of this very key zone, the $23.5 thousand level. It's a Fibonacci golden pocket, as well as a very important level, the value area high of the previous range. Now, this falling wedge fake out pattern, if we take a look at what happened last year, we had a very, very similar kind of pattern. However, when we got the fake out to the downside, we actually stayed below that level for 3 weeks before getting the move to the upside. So the next thing I'm going to be looking for is another move to the downside, maybe range here for a little bit, but looking at this key zone as a very important area to get into my next major swing long trade. And as we're looking at the weekly time frame, we can already start to see the VWAP on market Cipher be starting to curve to the upside. So if we do get another fake out, be watching these higher time frames, be watching the weekly, be watching the 5-day time frame. Is this thing getting closer to the zero line, or are we starting to see it flop to the downside? These are going to be some of our key indicators that are going to show us which way is price going to move. So basically, if we don't get the retest for the higher low here, I will be looking down toward this area for my next major swing long trade. What's very important here, guys, is we cannot know which way price is going to go, right? People always ask me, Jason, long or short? It depends, guys. We cannot know, but we can be prepared in advance to know if price comes to a certain level, and if I see certain confirmations like we did for this long setup, then we take the long trade from the exact bottom. If we don't see that, we don't take the trade, and we wait until we see what we want to see. Boom. Guys, that is it for today's video. I do pray everybody is super blessed in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed. I pray you have a wonderful week of trading, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Peace!